आदिल समझ नहीं रहे हो आप जिस किस्म की फिल्में करते हो ना वो सोचना पड़ता है यार. वी डोंट वांट टू थिंक, वी वांट टू जस्ट एस्केप. ओनली फिल्म आई हैव रिग्रेटेड इज एक्टिंग इन कबीर सिंह so far in my life. The trouble with stardom is that you become bigger than art. So somebody might argue, "Acha Adil, you are not a star, so you are jealous of stars." Bombay ke most actors, including a lot of my students, I have seen they started very well. Now they have become stars. And I see that, oh my God, why did he do that film? First time in my life I was trolled. Creativity is a marriage between spontaneity and deliberation. You and I are merely consumers. We have been reduced to. तो अभी लक्ष्मी ऊपर है, सरस्वती बहुत नीचे पड़ा हुआ है.
But who are you actually when no one is watching you?
I know one day someone like Aftab would ask me a question.
That's like a bit of fascism, I guess.
It's a bit of sort of. आपने कहा ये, नहीं तो मैं कहूँगा तो वो फिर
क्या डिफरेंस है एक आर्टिस्ट में और एक सुपरस्टार में? क्या वो चीज़ है जिसको सोच के आपको डिसाइड करना चाहिए कि आपको ये पिक्चर देखनी चाहिए या नहीं? आज की जो हमारी कन्वर्सेशन है वो कुछ इन्हीं बातों को टच करते हुए निकलती है. मैं आज की कन्वर्सेशन को अगर इसकी पैकेजिंग की बात करूं तो एक तरीके से कर ही नहीं सकता हूं. आपकी सोसाइटी, फिलॉसफी से लेके फिल्म्स, बॉलीवुड एंड एक्चुअली व्हाट हैपन्स देयर ऑन स्क्रीन की जो रियलिटी है वो बहुत अच्छे तरीके से एक्सप्लेन की गई है. काफ़ी दिनों बाद गाइस कोई ऐसा पॉडकास्ट आया जहाँ पे मैं मोर ऑफ अ लिसनर था रादर देन अ स्पीकर. आज के हमारे गेस्ट है आदिल हुसैन सर, who is a renowned Bollywood and Hollywood actor. बट मैं आदिल सर की जो कोर इंट्रोडक्शन है उसे एक एक्टर के तौर पे बिल्कुल भी नहीं बोलना चाहूँगा. ही इज़ मोर ऑफ एन आर्टिस्ट. और ये बात आपको पता होगी अगर आप उनके एक बहुत ही एविड फॉलोअर है. एंड रादर अगर आप ऐसे हैं जो आदिल सर को फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम सुनेंगे, सो आई रियली रिकमेंड यू watching this podcast with ease. This is not a masala podcast. This is not a podcast which is going to give you controversy. But for sure, this is going to give you perspective and a better understanding of how things work in various sectors of life. With that, AP podcast rolling in 3, 2, 1. First of all, Adil sir, thank you so much for doing this podcast. I honestly am too much grateful for this. And I've been reading about you since a long time. I've been trying to understand what sort of persona you actually have. And I just know this conversation is going to be too good. But it's also a peer pressure for me at this moment that I'm literally sitting with a person who has seen so much of life, has represented so much of life, in fact. Am I going to perform well or not? So, I don't know how that's going to be, but in all good spirits, thank you for being here, sir.
It's my pleasure. And I think as far as your performance is concerned, I think just being true to yourself, that's all.
I'm so glad you brought that up. Because when we were researching about you, there was this tweet that you had done almost, I think, in 2022. It was regarding peace. And the wordings I actually don't remember, but the whole sole meaning of that tweet was that you wish to, you were willing to say that, truth is something that should be told with some sort of patience.
It created a lot of controversy.
Yes,
and
it did.
First time in my life I was trolled. I think understandably, because in different context it is understood differently. So I should have taken that into account. What I meant by that, I remember probably exactly what I said. I said, truth must be told, and but must be told tenderly. so that tenderly, so that, or gently, something like that, so that we do not create a reactive society. Like even my son, to call him my son is not correct actually, because I've got very little contribution in the process of a biological existence. So I would rather say our son. He is now 14 years old and he does not listen to me when I tell him the truth harshly. You see? So when I have to get through to his inner being to make sure that the truth I'm telling, it could be any kind of truth. It could be about principles, about integrity, about life, about generally what is good for, what I think is good for him or anybody else for that matter. When I come from a place of arrogance, when I come from a place of, when I sit on a high horse, even if I'm telling a truth which is $1 billion worth, it is not taken or received by the other person. Because of that I'm speaking from arrogance, I am evoking also arrogance in the person whom I'm speaking to.
Wow.
Because everybody has ego, every human being on the planet. There is no human being who doesn't have ego. Very few, probably. I met one or two, but they're still struggling, probably. I don't know. Extremely humble, but there is an amount of ego in Islam as well. I remember that I read that the God Almighty will forgive everybody, but God Almighty will not forgive anybody who has ego even as small as a mustard seed in them.
Yeah.
God Almighty will forgive a murderer and all the heinous crime if asked for forgiveness, but will not forgive the person who has got tiny amount of ego. So it's a very difficult thing to get rid of. So what I'm trying to say is that when you appeal or when you want to communicate something which is you believe or I believe, which is important for the other person to know, then I have to appeal with a lot of humility. And that's what I meant by tenderness or gentleness. That you sugarcoat, if necessary to some extent. Not sugarcoat, it's not the right word, but you have to treat a patient and you give a pill. If it's too bitter, even if you want to heal the person doesn't take it. You need to put something in it, like some kind of sweetener to take. So I meant that when through art, we are telling the truth to somebody, then the people, those who you are appealing to, they are not going to listen to you. Because they also have egos. You are going to tell me this? Who are you, you think? That is evoked, that attitude is evoked in the other person. So that's what I meant. But because the tweet coincided with a release of one film, let me not name all that, so they thought I'm referring to that film. I haven't even seen the film. I didn't even know the film because I was in a village in Kerala. So that film even never reached there. So they thought I was talking about that film. The truth of this and that and all that. Anyway, people misunderstand each other. Our son misunderstands us, Our father misunderstood us, our sisters, our brothers. I'm talking about family members, they misunderstand each other. So if somebody misunderstands, it's not a big deal. But I thought later that I probably should have elaborated that. But there was no scope for it in terms of in a tweet. That's why Twitter is not a good platform to tell the truth.
Also, you are speaking about truth. We can keep this conversation in Hindi as well.
बिल्कुल जब मैं कोशिश करूंगा मैं हिंदी मेरी मातृभाषा है
मैंने कल आपका हिंदी में पॉडकास्ट देखा था एक्चुअली इंटरव्यू ललन टॉप पे आप तो माशाल्लाह बहुत अच्छी हिंदी बोलते हैं सर.
वेल कोशिश करता हूँ, प्रिटेंड करता हूँ कि मुझे हिंदी आती है, लेकिन मैं असम से हूँ, मेरी मातृभाषा असमिया है. हिंदी हमारे ऊपर थोपा गया है. हम बच्चन साहब और धर्मेंद्र जी से हिंदी सीखे हैं बचपन से, तो थोड़ा बहुत आता है मुझे. आती है, आता है, आई डोंट नो.
आती है.
आती है, ओके.
तो उसी के रिगार्डिंग ट्रूथ की आप बात कर रहे हैं सर. आप एक ऐसे प्रोफेशन में है वेयर एवरी डे योर सेट इज चेंजिंग, योर डायरेक्टर इज चेंजिंग, योर फिल्म स्क्रिप्ट्स आर चेंजिंग. तो यहाँ पे कुछ स्टेगनेंट नहीं है. तो व्हेन यू आर कमिंग फ्रॉम अ प्रोफेशन लाइक दैट, व्हाट इज एक्चुअली योर ट्रूथ? Provided you are also someone who believes in spirituality, Sri Aurobindo, you have read.
Right.
So, what is truth for you as an actor?
Good question. There is no difference between the truth of the actor, if I can put it that way, and the character I'm playing. Because the character that I'm playing, the truth is I am playing that character. If someone says I'm forgetting who I am, then that is not true. Because you cannot forget who you are. आपका नाम क्या है?
आफ्ताब.
Correct. आप मुझे पूछिए.
आपका नाम क्या है?
आदिल. राइट. सो नाम के जरिए अगर देखा जाए कि आपको एक सेकंड भी सोचना नहीं पड़ता कि आपका नाम क्या है. ये जो रियलिटी है, आपका नाम क्या है, आप कहाँ से हो, आपके पिताजी का नाम क्या है, माँ का नाम क्या है, या फिर आप अपने क्या किया बचपन से लेकर के अभी तक, जो भी आपको याद है, ये आपका ट्रूथ है ना. आपका सोशल रियलिटी क्या है, आपका इकोनॉमिकल बैकग्राउंड क्या है, आप किस किस्म के राइट एंड रॉन्ग में विश्वास करते हैं, आपका आइडियोलॉजी क्या है, व्हाट आर यू नो ऑल द थिंग्स दैट इज व्हाट यू थिंक हु यू आर. जो आपको लगता है कि मैं ये हूँ, आफ्ताब ये हूँ. तो ये जो ट्रूथ है आपका, वो अगर आप कहते हो, कोई एक्टर मुझे कहता है मैं भूल जाता हूँ एक्टिंग करते समय, तो नहीं भूलना चाहिए फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल. बिकॉज अ गुड एक्टर इज अकॉर्डिंग टू व्हाट आई हैव अंडरस्टूड एंड आई हैव सीन ग्रेट एक्टर्स in the world, you should never forget who you are, because you cannot be the other, no matter how much you try. But what you can do, you make the character's truth your truth. And your truth, because all the characters which are written in the world, जो भी characters अभी तक पूरे जितने सारे राइटर्स हैं, जितने सारे प्ले राइट्स हैं, फिल्म स्क्रिप्ट राइटर्स हैं, जो भी उन्होंने लिखा है वो ह्यूमन एक्सपीरियंस के अंदर आता है. Am I right what I'm saying? A good writer is writing something which is in the context of human condition. There is nothing that anybody can imagine which the person has not seen or felt or dreamt.
True.
Nobody. You understand what I'm saying? Including Spider-Man. There's a spider. And there is a man. You see, it's from this reality. Iron Man. There is iron and there is human being. So it is always, I'm just giving you random examples, but always anything anybody has ever imagined in the world, from the beginning of the history till today, including Leonardo da Vinci, and he has designed बहुत सारे अच्छे वो इंजीनियर्स भी थे. ही वाज अ स्कल्प्टर, ही वाज अ पेंटर, यू नो दैट. जो भी उन्होंने देखा, इधर ही हैज ड्रीम्ड इट और ही हैज सीन समथिंग व्हिच इज इंस्पायर्ड बाय द नेचर, बर्ड, एंड देन he designed a flying object, Leonardo da Vinci. So it must be inspired by something from the nature. So what I'm trying to say कि जितने सारे किरदार अभी तक पूरे दुनिया में जितने सारे राइटर्स हैं, लिखे हैं अभी तक, वो सारे ह्यूमन कंडीशंस के या मानव अवस्था के दायरे में हैं. वो देखे हैं और महसूस किए हुए हैं. जिन्होंने लिखा उन्होंने तो महसूस किया, नहीं तो लिख ही नहीं सकता है. और किसने महसूस किया है? वो एक ह्यूमन बीइंग है. अगर वो महसूस कर सकता है तो मैं महसूस कर सकता हूँ, क्योंकि मैं भी ह्यूमन बीइंग हूँ. You understand what I'm saying? The emotions may be a bit different, the ideology a bit different, the social reality could be थोड़ा सा अलग हो सकता है, सामाजिक अवस्था
कल्चरल डायलेक्ट्स की वजह से
कल्चरल डाइवर्सिटी में हो सकता है कि वो अच्छा अरुणाचल में या कहीं और मैंने सुना है, आई एम नॉट श्योर अबाउट इट, आई सॉ ए फिल्म कि वहाँ के एक औरत 5 हस्बैंड रख सकते हैं जैसे महाभारत में थे, ठीक है ना। तो अच्छा ये कैरेक्टर मैं कैसे करूं, अगर एक औरत एक एक्टर फीमेल एक्टर को कास्ट किया जाए, सॉरी अबाउट दिस, फीमेल एक्टर को कास्ट किया जाए कि ओ आई हैव नेवर सीन समबडी हैज 5 हस्बैंड्स, but there are people who has. And what does it mean by 5 husband? For example, it means that you have 5 different relationships. You have relationship with your brother, you have relationship with your friends, so we all have different relationship with different people, right? So I have to just imagine a little bit, okay, ये जो relationship मेरी असली जिंदगी में है, instead of thinking they are my friends or thing, I will just think of them as my husband. As simple as that. And intimate कैसे बनाया जाए? You might have a boyfriend, you might be a married person. So bring this reality to that reality. तो मेरे कहने का मतलब ये है कि आपका पर्सनल ट्रूथ को अगर नहीं लाते हैं किरदार करते समय, तो किरदार वो सत्य बन ही नहीं सकता है अकॉर्डिंग टू।
पर ऐसा नहीं होता है सर, जब आप अपने पर्सनल ट्रुथ्स को जो आपकी लाइफ में है आप उसे फिक्शन में उतार रहे हैं, तो कहीं ना कहीं यू माइट एंड अप लूजिंग योरसेल्फ।
No, you don't. That's why you have to know that you're bringing it. You have to bring it with awareness. That's what I'm talking about. You cannot forget who you are. Creativity is a marriage between spontaneity and deliberation. You understand what I'm saying?
कैन यू
Creativity is a marriage between deliberation and spontaneity.
ओके
स्वतःस्फूर्त और जानबूझकर करना, ये दोनों की मैरिज है क्रिएटिविटी। जैसे उदाहरण के तौर पर समझिए कि क्लासिकल सिंगर्स को हम लेते हैं, ओके। राग यमन कहाँ कब बना था मुझे नहीं मालूम, लेकिन बहुत पुराना है, सदियों से आ रहे हैं। तो अभी उदय भावलकर साहब को मैं बहुत सुनता हूँ, जो बहुत ही उम्दा और पंडित उदय भावलकर साहब, तो वो राग यमन गाते हैं। राग यमन उन्होंने बहुत बार गाए हैं, अभी तक गाते हैं, हर एक परफॉर्मेंस में जब जाते हैं राग यमन गाते हैं, ठीक है। तो उनको पता है क्या गाना है, Am I right? नहीं तो नहीं गा पाएंगे, लेकिन फिर भी दोबारा आज जब गाते हैं, आज का उनका परफॉर्मेंस समझो कि मैं उदय भावलकर जी हूँ, तो मैं जब अभी गाऊंगा कल जो मैंने गाया था उसमें और अभी गाने में क्या फ़र्क है। अभी मैं फिर से वो राग यमन को दोबारा डिस्कवर करूंगा जानबूझकर, because I know the raga, I know the notes, I know every details of that.
बट यू आर नॉट द सेम पर्सन।
But I am not the same person. And also, I am going to rediscover what is rag yaman means. When I put a note, I would feel today, so this is where it goes. And then there will be certain changes in somewhere.
You
It will
don't
not
want
the
to be
same.
stereotypical.
It cannot be the same because world has changed. The stars have moved. The galaxy has moved from one space in the universe to the other place. The sun is moving with the planets. You see, the trees have grown. You have grown one day older. You have dreamt something. You are not the same person. So bringing in your truth is the most difficult thing. Most actors, unfortunately, what they do is that they try to do characterization thinking I'm playing a character. I am playing a character. It's me who is playing the character. I have to find out how will I behave if I am in this situation. And then slowly, because the words are written by somebody else, because the construction of the sentence is very different than the way I would express the same thing, but I might not use those words written by the writer. So I would already feel different by speaking the words written by somebody else in a context created by somebody else. So if I am a person with sensitivity, if I have deep empathy, my body will behave differently, my voice will change, my face, in spite of not putting any makeup, I will look different even. It's a subtle art. The trouble in especially in Indian context, if I can say, is that we think that मुझे दाढ़ी थोड़ा सा लगा करके थोड़ा सा बॉडी में आइदर वजन डालता हूँ या कम करता हूँ, वो हार्डवेयर चेंज करने से मेरा कैरेक्टर चेंज हो जाता है. कुछ नहीं होता है. The characterization should happen from inward. It's a software updation. आपका सॉफ्टवेयर है, but you want to override your software by the software which is written by the writer director, whoever, by a given circumstance. You have to be so flexible and so open and so vulnerable as a person as well, and as an actor differently, because first you are a person, right? And after that you are an actor, all that nonsense. First you are a person. As a person, you have to live a life with so much openness and so much empathy in daily life, and sensitivity and compassion, that by empathizing with the character that you are playing, that software, with the words that you speak, you start feeling a bit different, because you're becoming bigger than who you are, rather than reducing yourself to the character. Am I clear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You are absorbing the character, and by वो करने के
Process
जो तरीका है, जो इसको क्या कहूँगा मैं, वो उसको आपके अंदर स्थान देने के लिए आपको आपका हृदय, आपका दिल बहुत बड़ा होना पड़ेगा. फिर जाके वो आपके अंदर आएगा. आप खो नहीं जा रहे हैं उसमें, वो आप में खो जा रहे हैं. और वो जो आप, बिकॉज आप बहुत बड़ा बन रहे हैं, और वो ऑडियंस को अट्रैक्ट करता है, क्योंकि ऑडियंस अक्सर जो इस बिजनेस में नहीं है, आर्ट के बिजनेस में नहीं है, वो हमेशा क्या होता है, दे कम विद देयर लेसर सेल्फ. मोस्ट ऑफ देम, आई एम नॉट सेइंग ऑल ऑफ देम. लेसर सेल्फ समझते हैं, उनके वरी, उनके परेशानी, उनका जिंदगी जो जी रहे हैं, ये हो रहा है, वो हो रहा है, बेटा का, बेटी का, फलाना ढिमकाना, जो भी वो सोच के आता है, दे कम टू फील, वो आते हैं ताकि आप उनके अंदर का जो स्थिति है उसको थोड़ा सा एक आनंद के स्थिति में ले जाने के लिए. तो अगर मैं खुद ही आनंद की स्थिति में नहीं हूं, एज ए ह्यूमन बीइंग, एज ए पर्सन, तो किस हैसियत से मैं किसी और को आनंद की स्थिति में ले जा सकता हूं. अभिनेता शब्द का अर्थ है टू ट्रांसपोर्ट समबडी, किसी को एक स्तर पे ऊपर ले जाना. माइक्रो में घुसे हैं हम जिंदगी के, जो क्या कहते हैं उसको हिंदी में, आप बताओ, जिंदगी के जो छोटे चीजों,
छोटी चीजें,
हाँ, मतलब दिक्कतें, परेशानी, उलझन, उसमें उलझ गए हम. उसमें से कैसे उनको ले जाके जिंदगी का जो
माया, एक्चुअली इज द वर्ड, माया. हाँ,
लेकिन माया बहुत अलग अलग समझते हैं ना लोग. जिंदगी के जो मतलब ग्राइंड में आप घुसे हुए हो, यू आर स्टक in that kind of grind. You wake up in the morning, you have to earn somebody. It doesn't matter who you are, you have to go. Maybe I'm not talking about the current marriage which is happening, but I'm just saying, if you have that much money, that's not even they have problems. I know that. No human being is free of worries. Nobody at all. So उस परेशानी से उनको तभी हम एक उच्च स्तर में ले जा सकते हैं, अंदरूनी तौर से, अंदरूनी internally, if we can raise their consciousness, उनके मनस्थिति में, उनके आध्यात्मिक स्थिति में एक बदलाव लाना, एक दायरा को बड़ा बनाना उनका, वो हमारा काम है अभिनेता के तौर पर. अगर मैं वो नहीं हूँ, तो मैं वो अगर जो कर रहा है अभिनय, वो अगर इंसान छोटे दायरे में रहते हैं, परेशानियों में रहते हैं, तो मैं कैसे आपको उस स्थिति में ले जा सकता हूँ? सवाल ही नहीं पैदा होता है. So in that context, I mean that I cannot forget who I am. So my truth in acting, coming back to that, is that my truth must be there, because only then I will be able to understand your truth. And only then I can empathize with your truth. So my truth has to be fully felt, understood, empathized, accepted, consolidated, fortified. And then with the compassion and with the sensitivity, samanubhuti, मतलब empathy, not sahanubhuti नहीं, समानुभूति, सम अनुभूति, उसको उसके वजह से मैं आपका रोल अगर कर रहा हूं तो मैं आपके अंदर आपको ऐसे सिमट लेता हूं और उसको मैं ऑडियंस के सामने पेश करता हूं.
और आपको ऐसा लगता है इंडिया में जो पूरा एक्टिंग का कल्चर है, the way it's been portrayed and the way people are also consuming content, there is no scope of experimenting. Even there are some people who have done stuff, who have made brilliant film, brilliant pieces of art, but still people are also not acceptant.
या इट्स वेरी कॉम्प्लेक्स, जटिल है बहुत. और उसके वजह मेरे ख्याल से बहुत सारे हैं. एक तो ये है कि हमारे एजुकेशन सिस्टम में बचपन से लेकर के मेरी जनरेशन, आपके जनरेशन इज फोकस्ड ऑन इकोनॉमी, हाउ टू earn, unfortunately. Not how to earn wisdom, but how to earn money. And that has taken precedence over everything else, and which is understandable, but which is a tragedy according to me. Yes, everybody needs food, everybody needs you don't have to have a huge house and all that. Everybody needs clothes to wear, amount of money to go to school and study, education and health care and all that. That's why government should provide all that free of cost, completely to, according to my understanding, all the higher studies should be completely free. So वो अगर आप guaranteed होते हैं तब आप जिंदगी जीने का अर्थ ढूंढने की कोशिश करेंगे. To find meaning. Why are you here? Why are you here on the planet Earth? What do you want to do? What is it that makes sense? What is the meaning of my life? How do I find joy? Joy comes according to the great masters of India, as I keep talking about Sri Aurobindo and Ramakrishna and Ramana Maharshi and Kabir and all these amazing masters. They are like greatest masters of philosophy and adhyatmic. तो उन लोगों के हिसाब से जिंदगी में जब हम मीनिंग ढूंढने के लिए कोशिश करते हैं तभी आपके अंदर आनंद आने की संभावना है. नहीं तो हम कंज्यूमर बन गए हैं आजकल. We are looked at by the entire market society. You and I are merely consumers. We have been diminished to consumers.
We are also being sort of simulated, right?
Consumers, we are clients, we are customers. We are not human beings anymore. जब बड़े बड़े corporations बात करते हैं about people, what is the jargon they use? What are the words they use? Consumers, customers, client. For doctors we are clients, for wakils we are clients, for corporations we are consumers. So we are not even looked at as a human being. We are a full-fledged, complex human miracle on the planet, each and every one of us. So if we do not consider ourselves as human beings, if our education system does not take that into consideration as a primary consideration, as a paramount importance, then how do you think what they will teach us? So the notebooks or the textbooks are all understanding of society a little bit. I had been teaching, I had been looking at our 14-year-old son's textbook and SST and all that. We see a little bit of information from, the world and French Revolution and this revolution and all that. You studied. Great. But there is no place where we study about human condition, about how humanity can improve the higher human qualities: empathy, compassion, respect, love, integrity. ये सब किसके मुंह में सुने हो आप आजकल के पिछले 25 साल में? बताओ आप. Apart from these great masters that I'm talking about. So, हमारे ऑडियंस जो है, जो आप बात कर रहे थे, उनसे आप इससे बेहतर कैसे उम्मीद कर सकते हो? उन लोगों को, human beings are conditioned for last 40-50 years to become consumers. Somehow you have to have a degree, and somehow you have to find a way to earn money by hook or by crook. Can you believe the words that they use? Or we use. I'm not saying they, somebody else. We are the people. By hook or by crook. So society has given us sanction to become crooks. Because the reason is a cutthroat competition. Cutthroat. Can you believe what kind of words we use? So we have legitimized we can cut somebody else's throat. We say this, don't we? Normally, it's a cutthroat competition.
Generally do.
So that imagery, that metaphor of that, you might have to cut somebody else's throat. Of course, you don't literally cut, but it doesn't matter if you somehow, by hook or by crook, you push the other person down and you go forward. That is legitimized by our society. So what kind of audience do you expect? Because the audience, if you are practicing these principles of life, that you have to earn money by hook or by crook, you have to be, cutthroat society, you have to go ahead, doesn't matter who you push aside, it doesn't matter even if you cheat somebody, it doesn't matter. I remember when I grew up, forget about your generation, my generation, when I grew up in Assam, bridegroom comes to see the bride. The bride's father asks the bridegroom's father, क्या करते हैं इंजीनियर? अच्छा, वो तो ठीक है, लेकिन ऊपर से कितना पैसा कमाते हैं?
Straight away.
So this is sanctioned by the society, that you have to be corrupt in order to qualify to marry my daughter.
And even to rise in the hierarchy also.
In the hierarchy. So we are in this society. In this society, when people practice such practices, they become lesser human beings. They become smaller human beings. So they need to entertain themselves to forget the guilt that they're suffering without even knowing. So they need chatpata entertainment. When I say chatpata, I mean fast food. It is good on the tongue, bad for your system. They need something to forget, to escape. That's why it's, we have to escape the reality. That's the explanation I keep hearing from the producers. आदिल, समझ नहीं रहे हो आप जिस किस्म की फिल्में करते हो ना, वो सोचना पड़ता है यार. We don't want to think, we want to just escape. So we have made our reality so bad that we have to escape that. That means what kind of society have we created? And we don't know that we have created that society because we are not aware about it. And we are thinking this is normal. This is not normal. This is abnormal. The society that we live in. जहाँ हमारे सामने कोई एग्जाम्पल्स नहीं है, इंस्पायरिंग एग्जाम्पल्स, कि उसको देखिए. हम किसको एग्जाम्पल मानते हैं? जिसके पास सब ज़्यादा पैसा है. हमारे शहर में मैं जब छोटा था, ये जो मैंने वो बताया ब्राइड ग्रूम के, उसके अलावा कुछ चीज़ें फिर भी तब वहाँ थे. जैसे सबसे रिस्पेक्टेड human beings were teachers and professors in our town. The most respected human beings. Teachers, professors, lawyers. But nowadays, no. They're the most, looked down at. क्या करता है? Teacher. अच्छा. जो सबसे रिस्पेक्टेड जो लोग हैं अभी, जो जिनके पास सबसे पैसे हैं, उस समय बायस भी थे कि अच्छा दुकान खोल, अच्छा क्या करते हैं वो, दुकान, अच्छा दुकानदार हैं. बट नाउ इट इज द ऑपोजिट. बड़े दुकानें हैं,
मॉल में दुकान.
मॉल में दुकान. अरे वाह वाह वाह, अच्छा बहुत पैसे वाले हैं. सो वी हैव कम फ्रॉम the seeker or the respecter, if I can use that word. I don't think that exists in English language. That we have become, we have climbed down the ladder from from respecting the wisdom to
Becoming a commodity.
becoming respecting the people, those who are consumers or who has got money. So सरस्वती और लक्ष्मी में झगड़ा होता है, मैंने सुना है. तो अभी लक्ष्मी ऊपर है, सरस्वती बहुत नीचे पड़ा हुआ है. वो ट्रेजेडी है हमारे जिंदगी के. सो हमारे ऑडियंस जो है, उनसे हम इससे ज़्यादा उम्मीद नहीं कर सकते हैं. हमने बनाए हैं उनको ऐसे, और बनाने में बहुत बड़ा हाथ है हमारे कमर्शियल फिल्म इंडस्ट्री के. साउथ का, बॉम्बे का, हिंदी फिल्म इंडस्ट्री, बिहार फिल्म इंडस्ट्री, जो भी जितने सारे बड़े बड़े कमर्शियल फिल्म इंडस्ट्री हैं, बिकॉज दे मेड फिल्म्स विच आर लाइक चटपटा, लाइक फास्ट फूड. वी मेड दोज फिल्म्स बिकॉज ईजिली वो बिकता है. सो जो बिकता है वो चलता है. सो हाउ इज इट पॉसिबल फॉर यू टू चेंज द टेस्ट ऑफ द सोसाइटी, कि ऑर्गेनिक फूड खाना, अच्छा बना के प्रोसेस फूड नहीं खाना, कम खाओ, एक थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा मत खाओ, सब मत मांगो, ये भी चाहिए वो भी चाहिए, उस तक ले जाना, और ज़िंदगी के अर्थ को ढूंढने के लिए बहुत काम करना पड़ेगा. उम्मीद है, क्योंकि मैं जिस किस्म में फिल्मों में काम करता हूँ, उस किस्म के फिल्में अभी भी लोग देखते हैं, कम देखते हैं, लेकिन देखते हैं. Or yeah, so that's the answer to your question, if I have answered it.
I think it can never be answered completely.
Yeah,
It's like
I guess so.
never
There's so
ending
many
up.
other variables. So many other variables.
एंड डू यू थिंक आजकल जैसे मिक्स कल्चर एक आ गया कि साउथ इंडस्ट्री के डायरेक्टर्स या कुछ लोग
जी.
दे कम टू हिंदी फिल्म इंडस्ट्री एंड दे मेक कंटेंट लाइक संदीप रेड्डी वांगा सर is someone who has been in the news currently because of their various movies. Even you were also in one of the movies. Kabir
Yeah,
Singh.
thank you for bringing that up. Yeah.
So that one of your reel also got very viral on the internet, where you were telling everyone topper of the college, topper of the university, but still worst surgeon because of the anger issue thing. So do you think that type of content, the way Sandeep sir makes content, it's fast, it's there you have to also sit and understand the characters. Something like that is we as Indian masses are now going to consume, provided what Animal did on box office.
Aftab, are you asking me that is that the way the Indian film will follow the path?
Lead. Yeah.
I hope not. I really hope not. I really hope not, because I think I saw, being a part of that film, that's the only film in my life that I've done without reading the script. Okay. Without seeing the movie, which it's based on his previous movie in Telugu. And I went to see the movie in Delhi, and I could not take, after 20 minutes, I just walked out. And I regretted till today. The only movie I've regretted doing is that film. What is the name of the film?
Kabir Singh.
Kabir Singh. Because I think it is misogynist. It makes it made me feel very small as a human being. I didn't even dare to watch Animal, so I can't comment on that. Heard stories from trusted friends, but I don't want to, unless I saw it, I can't comment. But Kabir Singh, I am part of it, and then I had to watch it also. After I came back, I made myself, was okay, I'm part of it. So I know one day someone like Aftab would ask me a question. So I feel that it is, everybody has a right to make a film the way they want. I would defend his freedom to make film, for him to make film. But I disagree with him completely. I think a film like this, I'm talking about Kabir Singh, it celebrates something is which is not beneficial for the society. It legitimizes male misogyny. It legitimizes violence against anybody, for that matter. It doesn't have to be a woman. And it celebrates it. It glorifies it. And it should not be glorified. And I regret, I'm saying it now, officially saying it to you. I said it before as well. I'm saying it again, that the only film I have regretted is acting in Kabir Singh so far in my life.
Wow. I was actually not sort of expecting that answer. I knew the moral reasons behind it, but I didn't know that this was the film that you regret doing.
Yeah, the only one. And I ended up doing it for various reasons. I was in the middle of something and then they wanted one day from me. I said, no, I can't. I have problems. They said, no, send me the script, send me the scene. So I read the scene. I asked them, send me the script. They sent me the film. And I didn't have time because I was traveling from different parts of the world. I was coming back. I told my manager that, ask them a lot of money, they will say no to. But they agreed. So I went and did it. And I like the scene. The scene I did is a good scene.
Yeah.
So I thought the film is also going to be good. And then I go to watch the film and I was like, what am I doing here? You have no idea how I felt. I felt so embarrassed.
And how was your family's reaction with this film?
I went with one of my friends, the owner of this house.
Okay.
We both walked out. I can't even ask my wife to see it. She would be so angry if she sees, this is what I've done.
And also with that, what do you feel about stardom, sir? As in,
Right, yeah.
yeah, may I just complete this
Yeah,
thing?
please do, please.
So, just जैसे हम पहले डिस्कस कर रहे थे about stereotypical characters that we have in this country, especially Hindi film industry, that there is going to be a big star, there is going to be a very popular song, and then there is going to be a story, and in the end, even if the villain is very strong, very good, hero end में उसकी पिटाई कर देगा and they will win. And that bigger than life sort of image that Indian media and Indian audience is giving to some people. What do you feel about that?
I think it's very detrimental for the society to worship human beings. You should not. And I think it is a responsibility of film actors not to play to it, not to accept that, to normalize themselves, to behave like a normal human being. Even if you are chased, you make sure that you are a normal person from a normal family and you are just an actor. Your job is as important as the person who does something else. And the trouble with stardom is that you become bigger than art. And that's the problem.
You become commercialized, basically.
No. You see, if you consider film as a form of art, the art should be the star, not you. Art, when a film is smaller than the actor of the film, then you are depriving the audience of going into depriving the audience the knowledge and the wisdom of what art brings into their life. Art is a gift from human beings to the audience members for them to enhance their awareness, to find meaning for their life, as I keep saying that, to understand the complexities of life, to find answers to their very difficult questions, to give them a hope to continue even there is struggle in their life, and to make them a person who is, to make the audience, to inspire the audience to get to stay away from the lower tendencies, jealousy, anger, revenge, all kinds of those aspects of human beings, which we generally put people into jail for. You see what I mean? If you go ahead and do it, you know, if you're extremely jealous, you murder somebody. If you're extremely angry, you go and kill somebody. You do not, because there is a law and order situation. Otherwise, people would do it. But law and order is a sort of a very, very rudimentary system. ह्यूमन बींग्स को ऐसे इंस्पायर करनी चाहिए कि उस तरफ वो जाए ही ना. तो आर्ट का काम है वो, कि जिंदगी की सुंदरता को मैं कैसे, सुंदरता से कैसे मैं इनके परिचय करा दूं. एक आदमी दूसरे आदमी के प्रति कैसे मैं प्यार भरा दृष्टि से, प्यार भरा मतलब एम्पैथी भरा, सम अनुभूति भरा दृष्टि से दृष्टिकोण कैसे ला सकता हूं ऑडियंस के अंदर.
दृष्टि से दृष्टिकोण,
जी, वो दृष्टिकोण जब हम लाते हैं तब वो आर्ट होता है. नहीं तो वो चटपटा खाना जो हम बना रहे हैं और खिला रहे हैं ऑडियंस को, तो चटपटा खाने का एग्जाम्पल आपने जो मैंने पूछा, एक फिल्म वो है जो चली बहुत. सो आर्ट को अगर हम नहीं सामने रखते हैं, आर्ट के एक कंपोनेंट है एक्टर, फिल्म आर्ट के, ओनली वन कंपोनेंट. इट शुड नॉट बी द मेन इंग्रेडिएंट, वन ऑफ द मेन इंग्रेडिएंट्स. वहाँ लाइट है, वहाँ फोटोग्राफी है, सिनेमाटोग्राफी है, आर्ट है, आर्ट डायरेक्शन है, कॉस्ट्यूम है, मेकअप है, एडिटिंग है, म्यूजिक है, बैकग्राउंड म्यूजिक है, वीएफएक्स है, direction है, all writing है, screenplay है, all kinds of things are there. Why the actor should be the important person? When the trouble, why? So somebody might argue, "Acha Adil, you are not a star, so you are jealous of stars." Somebody might argue. I said, no, I purposely did not go to Bombay. I stay in Delhi. Why you think I do stay in Delhi? Because I know for sure it is very difficult for someone, anybody for that matter, who lives in Bombay and stay away from the limelight and stay away from the rat race of actors in Bombay. अच्छा, वो उसके साथ उसका काम मिल गया लेकिन मुझे नहीं मिला. ये सारी चीज़ें जो आते हैं वो बॉम्बे के most actors, including a lot of my students, I have seen they started very well. Now they have become stars. And I see that, oh my God, why did he do that film? It's bad. And I had told them also about it. That stay away. Don't need to. How big a house you want? How big a car do you want? You don't need such a big car. You need a car to go from point A to point B. So, मेरा ये कहना, जो आपने सवाल पूछा स्टारडम के बारे में, जब स्टार डोमिनेट करता है आर्ट को, देन आई एम डिप्राइविंग द ऑडियंस ऑफ दैट मीनिंग जो मैंने डिस्क्राइब किया. सो देन पीपल स्टार्ट वर्शिपिंग द स्टार. So the purpose of art fails. The art does not go, the star goes.
That's like a bit of fascism, I guess.
It's a bit of sort of. आपने कहा ये, नहीं तो मैं कहूँगा तो वो फिर मुझे आर्ट से stardom is fascism. मैंने नहीं कहा. But I would say that, you know, there is some meaning, some point to you. Yeah. Correct. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which you can see in politics, you can see in so many other areas. You know, there is this cop who is a hero. You know, no, you're just a normal guy. We pay bloody your salary. आपको हम सैलरी देते हैं, टैक्स पेयर सैलरी देते हैं, वो सारे जो बैठे हुए हैं हमारे अलग अलग असेंबलीज में, पार्लियामेंट में, वी पे देयर सैलरी. इट्स नॉट नथिंग फॉर फ्री. आई एम पेइंग GST, आई एम पेइंग इनकम टैक्स. एक टूथपेस्ट खरीदने के लिए मैं टैक्स देता हूँ. लोग कहते हैं कि 1% लोग टैक्स देते हैं. नहीं, हर एक जना टैक्स देते हैं. सब्जी खरीदते हैं, टैक्स देते हैं. We pay tax. So why should I be more important than anybody else for that matter? You see? It's not fair. Similarly, why should only the lead actors be more important than the smaller actors or the cinematographer and the art designer and the makeup person? That is unfair.
And since we are talking about society, I want to bring one of your own projects here. आपने एक शॉर्ट फिल्म करी थी बंदी. तो उसका जो एक थीम है वो आजकल काफ़ी प्रेवलेंट भी हो रहा है सोसाइटी में. दैट इज़ एंटी हीरो. यू नो, you might be taking the bad route, but the end cause is very good. So what are your thoughts about
The
that?
means to an end. I do not subscribe to that anymore.
Okay.
Robin Hood style, you know. I think that if your means, the way to an end, is disrespectful, then the end is the end is going to be equally shallow, devoid of humanity. It's like your end is to kill cancer cells and you're putting radiation or chemotherapy. It kills the rest of it. And finally, the human being, most of the time, the human being is killed by chemotherapy itself, because that is worse than the cancer cells. So I don't think that a means, if I want to reach an end, but the mean that I'm using, the way that I'm using, the vehicle that I'm using, the process that I'm using is violence or disrespectful, then the end is going to be short-lived. वो ज़्यादा दिन रहेगा नहीं. Because somebody else will have more power and come and kill you. You have the power now, which is happening in the Middle East.
So
They want to kill, they want to end the terrorism, designated terrorism by the Western countries of Hamas, and they're bombing away to glory. But the children, those who are left behind, they have seen their parents, their fathers, their brothers being killed. They think they will, what are they going to feel about it when they grow up? So yes, it is going to stop for some time. But if you have used a process of reconciliation, if you used a process of respecting, oh my God, these people, we cannot do this to human being like this, you know, then there is a possibility of a better end. Not an end like an antibiotic, you know. Antibiotic kills all the bacteria. Then you have a diarrhea. The disease, sometimes probably it is required. I don't know. कि उस स्थिति में आप आई ना कि आपको एंटीबायोटिक इस्तेमाल करने की जरूरत पड़े. आप अपने शरीर का देखभाल करें ठीक से. अच्छा खाना खाइए, कम खाइए, ज़्यादा मीट शीट कम खाइए. You know, so that you understand how your body functions. You do your exercises, you do your pranayam, you know, you look after your software, which is read things, listen to good music, meet good people, go to watch good cinema, not this cinema with violence, and you come back and you dream something terrible.
Anti-hero cinema.
Yeah, you just stay away from them. And make your reality a pleasant reality. Make your reality a joyous reality. In spite of being bombarded by the phone that we all carry, you know, all the reels I had been watching terrible reels and short videos from the Ukraine war and then war here in the Middle East. So it is difficult. So I have to really constantly work on myself in order to keep myself a pleasant person for my son, for my friends. Otherwise, we'll all become bitter and die of bitterness. Bitterness creeps into the emotional bitterness and emotional downfall. When you emotionally are down, your immune system goes down and you get ill.
Doesn't that happen with you when you're performing sort of
No, it
these
doesn't.
negative characters?
No, it doesn't, because I've learned a way not to. It used to be my fear, oh my God. So I found another way not to do that.
Is that spirituality?
That's my two teachers who taught me. I think they are the most low profile and not famous teachers, and they don't want to be known. So they
Like
asked me not to.
spiritual teachers
Huh?
or
No,
acting
no, acting
teachers?
teachers,
Acting
yeah.
teachers. Okay.
They don't want me to speak their name, and they don't want to be famous.
And sort of they are the reason that in your interview also said that आपको रात में नींद बहुत अच्छी आती है.
In 10 minutes, it doesn't matter when I go to sleep.
And speaking about serious characters and the roles that we have seen you on the screen, आपने ये एक इंटरव्यू में बोला था कि स्टैंड अप कॉमेडी से आपका सॉर्ट ऑफ एक इंक्लिनेशन भी आया था एक्टिंग की साइड में. आपकी जर्नी में स्टैंड अप कॉमेडी का भी एक रोल रहा था. So
I started with that, yeah.
So what was it about the stand-up comedy and acting?
Well, the town that I lived, every year, every April, the Bihu, Baisakhi, उस समय क्या करते थे वो लोग, बहुत अलग अलग जगह से आर्टिस्ट लेके आते थे, जो वहाँ के फेमस सिंगर्स हैं, रेडियो सिंगर्स. तब तो रेडियो सिंगर्स थे. तो उन लोगों को लेके आते हैं और कॉमेडियंस को बुला के लाते थे. तो कॉमेडियंस हमारे वहाँ जहाँ मैं रहता हूँ, दैट्स द बॉर्डर डिस्ट्रिक्ट ऑफ वेस्ट बंगाल. सो बॉर्डर की उस तरफ से बंगाली कॉमेडियंस भी आते थे. तो वहाँ ये दो आते थे, रतन शंकर, एंड दे यूज्ड टू डू मिमिक्रीज ऑफ ऑल दीज Bollywood actors those days, and then make a story out of it, जो आजकल हम काफ़ी देखते हैं, वो रियलिटी शो में आते हैं ना, कॉमेडी, उसमें जो कपिल शर्मा करता है, वो जो मिमिक्री. So we saw it and I did it in 80s, and I used to earn a lot of money. So I got inspired by them, by these two comedians, and I started doing it for my neighborhood friends. And then people started liking it, so I continued by myself. Then I found another friend of mine in my hometown who is also interested, who is also an actor, who does a little bit of theater. So we teamed up and we started doing some political comedy show.
Satirical, political satire.
Yes. And then when I came to study in the college in Guwahati, there we found another bunch of people. I was the junior most, and the brain behind the entire satire comedy. We got together and we started doing political satire, and we became extremely famous. And so that continued. And on the side, I used to do films, telefilms, feature films, teleseries, then radio plays, street plays, all the forms of performance there could be in India. I have done it before I came to NSD.
Okay.
So when I came to NSD, that sort of changed my life, and because of the teachers, all my teachers, if I start naming them, first day, first scene, first class was of Mr. Khalid Tayyib ji, then Niva Joshi, Robin Das, Anamika Haksar, Anuradha Kapoor, Kirti Jain, Maya Rao, Arjun Raina, Barry John, Nasiruddin Shah, then teachers from abroad, from Germany, from England, from Italy, from Russia, then from Bihar, from Nautanki, Terikuttu, Yakshagana, from Japan. So all these teachers made me fall in love with theatre and made me see the ocean of art. and how deep one can go, and the reason for doing art, the meaning of doing art, why I have to find my own meaning. So the best teachers are those who does not impose their ideas on you. They just open the door and you go and explore and you find your own ways and own meaning, why you do what you do. So those questions they taught me how to ask questions. Why are you doing what you're doing? What is the intent behind your action? So that changed my life. And what I had just talked about art, because of those questions that I asked myself. That should I do this film? Should I do that film? Why would I do that? Oh, because you need to earn money. Yeah, but I have some money. I don't need to. I'm not dying of hunger. I'm not dying of starvation. Oh, but you will marry one day. I'm like, we'll see when we marry one day. And got married. And then I was teaching in NSD. I had very little money, but we managed. And then someone came from Bombay. You know the story. Ishkia, the director who came and convinced me to act. I'm like, chalo. Then kid happened. Then films happened without, touch wood. And I'm extremely grateful that till today I didn't have to go and look for work ever since the first film. Even the first film came, they gave me the work. I didn't have to go. So that is something probably that I am the most grateful about. That I never had to look for work till today. And I hope that remains like this. So stand-up comedy came to me in my early stage of life, and that showed me the way that, I can do comedy and I can also do serious roles. Both are difficult if you want to go deeper into it.
So, talking about NSD only, do you think जो आपको एक reasoning की ability उन्होंने दी, आपके teachers ने दी, that you have to question everything, that is sort of one of the primary reasons that you yourself select good scripts? So when someone is approaching you for work, you have that thing, you have that outlook to select the good work.
Yeah, absolutely. Every script that we did and we read in NSD, and those scripts were written and are written by the great playwrights of the world, including Shakespeare, Bernard Shaw, Tolstoy, adaptations of Kafka, short story of Chekhov, written by Chekhov, play written by Chekhov, Goldoni, the Italian playwright, Peter Schaffers, the English playwright, Samuel Beckett. All these are Nobel Prize winner writers. So when you read and do all these plays, an Indian, Kalidasa and Bhabu Bhuti are the ancient playwrights. I mean, Sanskrit playwrights. Then Mohan Rakesh, Vijay
Mahabharata
Tendulkar,
also to some extent.
Mahabharata. Andhayug is, I just forgot the name of the writer, unfortunately. Girish Karnad, So Andhayug is written by Dharmbir Bharti Saab. And all these playwrights are extremely wise. They have written plays. Because of those plays, you become wiser once you read them. You understand life. Oh, okay, the sadgi of life, the nuances of life, the complexities of life, that all human beings are different and yet they are similar, but different in so many ways, and the similarities. So they create deep empathy. The sign of a good play or a film is that you feel equally empathetic for each and every character. You don't side with the hero, you don't side with the villain.
You actually don't know who is the protagonist here.
No, you know, but you equally support the hero and equally support the villain. Because you understand why the person is behaving the way he is behaving. There's a backstory.
Like Batman and Joker kind of situation.
I probably would say so. You feel for the Joker, right? Yeah, you do. So, But the trouble is them again. There's a superhero, so I have problems with superheroes and stardom. So, um, NSD has given me that critical outlook to appreciate it, not to criticize it, to appreciate and also to have empathy for people, those who do not have that critical empathy, critical faculty. They don't have it not because they have a backstory, no. They don't have it. It's not because they don't want to have it, because they grew up in a society they haven't been given that critical. NSD takes only 20 students a year. Now it is 29 out of I don't know how many thousands apply in a country of 1.5 billion. 29 students. That's like really that's the situation. And to get into it, I am one of the luckiest guy on the planet, and it's free of cost. You don't have to pay a single penny to study there. They pay you to study there, all of them. You get a seat, you get a scholarship.
All right then, sir.
Okay.
I think it's been an hour since we are doing this conversation, right?
An hour already? Okay, good.
So, in the end, after seeing this conversation and seeing so many aspects of you and learning about so many philosophies about life, society, and obviously filmmaking, I have this one question for you. Um it may sound very easy at first, but I think it's a bit difficult.
Okay, let me straighten up. Tell me.
So, we obviously know who you are.
You know who I am?
No, not in that sense,
Okay,
not
okay.
in a philosophical sense, as in
Yeah.
by your profession.
Yeah, I got it. I'm just
I
joking.
was fortunate enough to have this conversation one-on-one with you.
Yeah.
People will watch this on the internet.
Yeah.
There are already many interviews, many publications of you out there. But who are you actually when no one is watching you?
Well, I'm watching myself. I don't think. I'm probably a little more uninhibited. I probably little more myself. When I say myself, which self? I am reasonably more relaxed, probably, and I am more Adil, I think, then, or maybe I am beyond Adil. I'm when nobody is watching me, including my wife and our child. I would say that I am a better Adil, more relaxed Adil. As soon as this is an exercise we used to do, in acting, first year exercises that not only first year, in the interview we have to do this exercise, which you just said. So first, not even in the first year, you have to do three small
Situations.
improvisation that when you are with completely yourself, how you behave, when you meet a friend, and when you are in public space. So I realize that when I am with myself, I'm probably, as I said, that I'm probably more myself. I feel more comfortable with myself. As soon as you are, and as soon as, and it's not only with me. I think generally most of the people. Quite often I heard opposite also, that they feel extremely lonely and they don't want to be with themselves. वो भी है, बहुत सारे लोग ऐसे भी हैं मेरे ख्याल से, मैंने जो सुना है. So it is most of the time. I think I am. Yeah, I love my solitude.
So that loneliness doesn't kill you.
No, it never. I never get bored. Unfortunately, I should get bored because boredom gives birth to creativity. But I'm never bored.
But you are a creative person.
Better creativity. More, deeper there's no end to it. How deep can you go?
I guess that was all from my side. I really enjoyed this conversation.
I enjoyed this as well. Thank you.
I hope so. I was able to do justice to
What
this
do you mean by
conversation.
that? No, absolutely. You asked lovely, wonderful questions.
It was lovely interacting with you, sir. And I must say that we have had some Bollywood people also, or Hindi film industry people also in this show. But today, I think I really had a conversation with an artist and more of with an art form in terms of genre or in terms of theme, you say. So thank you so much.
I'm
for
glad you felt that way. I'm just struggling to act better every day. But thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for doing this, sir.
Okay.